I'm not trained as a journalist, but over the last year or so, I've been working more and more with proper journalists. And for a while, I've seen myself as such, or at least like kind of going in that direction. Yeah, I don't know. How do you feel about it? What's your are you still a journalist? Were you a journalist before? I don't even know how to
Yeah.
phrase this question.
It's a really weird space at the moment, because there's influencers, there's creators, there's journalists. I feel like those are the three main titles
Yeah,
I see in this weird Venn diagram.
sure.
And I think sometimes they definitely cross, and sometimes they definitely don't. If you search me on Google, it will say journalist.
Hmm.
At least it did yesterday. I'm waiting for them to change that. And here's why. I was taught to be a journalist at The Verge, and I'm forever grateful for that. To be rigorous, to have sources for everything that you say, um, to not take sides, to not take money. That's a big one. Um, to not take the free trips. Um, to really like have standards and ethics. And I think that the content creation space lacks standards and ethics for reasons that are sometimes out of creators' controls. These are small businesses. We have to, in the US, my health insurance is insane monthly fee. Insane. And that's just like for me to live and to like trust that if something happens to me, I will be able to protect myself.
Hmm.
So sometimes you have to get paid. Whereas in a true journalist works for a company and they don't have that on the line. And I think that's what makes them like a true journalist. But that being said, there are many creators who are doing really in depth investigations, who are going far deeper than some journalists are, um, talking to more sources, making a longer video, bringing up more points. So it gets sticky because that same person might take, money from, I don't know, a camera company or something that they cover. And then it's like, well, are you a journalist if that company paid you? So even in my response, it's kind of like all over the place. But that's how I feel about this title, which is why I just say I'm a content creator. And I say that really proudly because it is what I do. I feed the internet content. And I like to think that I do it with more of a journalistic eye because I've been trained in that way. Um, but at the end of the day, I quite literally create content. It's sticky.
It's sticky, and it's there's so many arguments on all the aspects as you just mentioned, because there is not a journalistic publication out there that doesn't have advertisers. So even if a reporter not doesn't take money, the publication still has to fund the whole operation. It's never this black and white. And there's I think we all know people who are called journalists who are very biased and objective, right? So,
Yeah.
and on the other hand, yeah, there are no set rules or standard for content creators because we all make our own rules. That's I think one big part why we're doing that. Maybe that's going to change. Maybe a few of us are going to get together and like set some rules. I was at a conference earlier this year talking a lot about AI and how production houses have their rules of interacting with AI, what is allowed and what is not allowed. And I've been
Yep.
thinking for myself, okay, what are my internal standards for using AI tools? I haven't like come to like a real like guidebook or anything, but I have like two, three guidelines, I would say, that I can use AI and not worry about anything, right? So maybe we'll see that also in the broader content creator space.
I did a video about V Spear, who is the person behind Under the Desk News, which is like a popular political. See, I'm even like channel profile. I like
Yeah.
it's like what do you call it? It's not an outlet. And when I was making that video, they consider themselves, at the time at least, a journalist. And I was struggling with what to call them myself because while they did report on news, they also have a heavy personal opinion about what they're reporting on, which is what resonates online for them and their audience. But it was really hard. Like, you can go and watch that video, and I try to define it at the beginning and then in the middle. And even after making that whole video, spending like 3 weeks deeply thinking about what makes a journalist, I couldn't come to a conclusion. And I think with a lot of things, sometimes it's easier to say what's not journalism than what is.
Yeah.
But it's tough. We're humans and we're messy. And we have these lived experiences. I'm going to say that again because of the truck. We have these lived experiences that change the way we feel about things and react to them.
If you ever discover the joy of writing and want to write down your what that actually means, the with the journalistic mindset, I would love to read that, or maybe just record a video about it. But I would really like to understand that a little bit more, what that means in the creator space, right?